Hey everyone. In the last few days there's been a few interviews that have been really well worth going and checking out if you're interested. One of them is by a guy who was a Nobel laureate in 2008-2009, and I think his name is something like Luc Montagnier or something like that. But he's been in a couple of interviews that have been subtitled since he speaks in French. And basically he's discussing what he thinks is happening at the moment with variants. So, that's worth a listen. Go find it. He's everyone's always saying don't listen to them. They're not scientists. This is one of the top scientists in the world. And he is speaking out and saying very, very similar things to what Geert van der Bosch did, 6 weeks ago when he got shut down. So so that's another person to go check out. Then there's also an interesting interview by the health ranger Mike Adams. So he's sort of discussing also what he thinks is going on at the moment with just with stuff going on. So well and truly worth a look. And there's another one that I listened to yesterday morning. There's a woman who has been a researcher at MIT for over 40 years. She's a science and health researcher, and she has published a paper. So she's published a paper in the last few days, and the interview with her is on Under the Wire. So that is a Australian, I suppose a freedom fighter, for want of another word, but someone who has been really, we're in Australia, our democracy is disappearing at the speed of light. So one of the things that's happened in the past few days is that 6 months ago I heard our Premier, which is the equivalent of governors around the world, I believe, but she mentioned that we might need COVID passes to cross borders in Australia. Now, there are 8 different areas in Australia, and as you can imagine, so many of us have relatives and friends in other areas, but it's totally unconstitutional to do that. Like, it's one of the freedoms that we do seem to have left, and yet then our Prime Minister came out, good old ScoMo, and he sort of mentioned, well, that's going to be up to the governors, the premiers. So very interesting times, but the interview with Meryl Dorey and this woman from MIT, a couple of days ago is a great interview. And they just have a really good understanding about what is causing some of the adverse events. So that's what her paper was about, because it's about the unexpected adverse things that are going on. And of course, this is still it's not fully authorised yet because it's still emergency use only. So, the science is still being sorted on this, which is why it's great to have scientists who are willing to go against the mainstream and sort of say, okay, well, this is what science does. We look at things and you need to replicate it, and you need to be able to prove things safe and effective, and this is what happens with science. So people who have alternate opinions should not be shut down, they should be encouraged, and we need lots more voices on both sides to have a democratic world. Otherwise it's not a democracy, it's communism. And anyway, they're just a couple of the people I've been listening to in the last few days. And it's giving me more information for how I can work with my clients, my health, my family's health, my client, so, and that's what I'm after, is wanting that knowledge that I can take care of myself and my loved ones. And those people who come to me, with issues and side effects, and I don't want to be one of the 99% of doctors worldwide who close their minds and hearts to what's really going on and ignore the obvious truths around them. That will never be me. But anyway, here I am on Brisbane River. It's a beautiful day. Have a good one.